So, for a while now, we've been on Justice for Mohbad, and I'll tell you the truth, a lot of people got tired on the way. It is as a result of certain events, certain questions that they didn't get answers to. And of course, they want to know what's really happening. Is this going to be a merry-go-round? Are we going to continue in this circle without focus, without achieving nothing? Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time, we have clarity on justice for Mohbad. Yes, I mean, we have clarity like 100% on justice for Mohbad. All your questions, what you want to know about private autopsy, toxicology, DNA, and of course, evidences and the groundwork, what has been done so far, things that you have never heard on social media. Today, you're about to hear everything, not from someone who is a third party. You'll be hearing everything from the horse's mouth. You will get to know what and what is going on. This is not from a third party, proxy. No, you'll be getting to hear everything directly. What about monies paid, money that we all have donated into justice for Mohbad, money imputed, your sweat, your energy, your tears, your emotion? What is the dividends of it? What is the result that came out of it? You will get to know everything. What about Cynthia Omonwunwo Adebanjo that wants to be forcefully tagged as Mrs. Aloba? What about her? What's going on with her? Is it going to be business as usual? What is going on? You might have asked that question times without number. Today, you will get to know everything from the beginning to the end. Mohbad's father, power of attorney, the lawyers, the role of Odumosu, the UK lawyer, who has never stepped his foot into Nigeria, but he has people who have been going back and forth. He said it is pro bono, meaning I'm not going to charge, but somehow I will tell you for free. Charges indirectly came into it. For whatever it is that it does, money is being collected. So when you look at it, it's like you are not going to pay me upfront, but for every service, you'll be paying me. Simply put, pay me, but instrumentally. That is on that side. Now, Mohbad's father, obviously, with the public having press and push, although he said, I think God brought that UK lawyer and Sanshitu domiciled in Nigeria to my life, which is okay. And I don't know, probably applied wisdom in that aspect. Or then he wasn't thinking that, after all, it is not money from his pocket, even though he is the one with the pain. He might be thinking in that direction, but people who donated and people who are not directly connected to Mohbad, they were able to think clearly. And they said, look, enough is enough. This lawyer must leave. Now, this lawyer came up with, you are going to pay me this amount of money. Really? You say you're pro bono. Arguments back and forth. We've listened to uneducated, unintelligent, lack of wisdom, lack of knowledge, uninformed, informed talk on this matter. Today, there is clarity on it. Here, now, we will know what and what we are dealing with and where we are heading to. This, I believe, will take us to that closure on justice for Mohbad. The closure that we all have been hoping for. What exactly is this? Ladies and gentlemen, this, like, share, tap on the subscribe button if you have not done so. Yes, tap on the subscribe button. Thanks a lot. I see you. May God bless you. Bless your pocket. Those that have tapped on that button, that one there, yes, the one that says thanks. God bless you for being there. If you like what we do, you still want to be part of it, you can as well smash on that button that says thanks. Let's get right into it.
Lóríṣiríṣi ọ̀nà lọ́ fi ń tọra wọn ẹlòmíì mú òótọ́ o bọ̀ torí pé kí ohun tí ẹnìkejì ń ṣe kó má bàa ní àṣeyọrí ẹ̀ wọ́n á dẹ̀ máa yí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀. Mò ń ṣe ohun tó dáa kò ní jẹ́ ká lè tètè débi tí à ń lọ. Ó fi àkókò yìí lọ̀ wá èyí jẹ́ ọjọ́ tí ó yàtọ̀ sọ́nà mi ò ń dédé wá sí orí TikTok láàrin week bóyá mo ní kan tó wà urgent tó lè jẹ́ kí n sáré wá òun náà ni wípé lórí accountability tí a bá ń yẹn pàfà fọ́jú kírú ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ kó máa súfèé kí afọ́jú lè mọ̀ pé ẹ̀pà yìí o àjẹ́ o so òun ló fà á tó fi pọn dandan láti lè kárì gbogbo wa lọ́rùn pé ibi tí iṣẹ́ yẹn dé rèé ibi tí a bá ṣe yẹn dé ni ìwọ̀nba ilé ètèmi lè sọ gẹ́gẹ́ bí kápẹ́ńtà tẹ́yìn náà mọ̀ ní ti access tí mo lè sọ fún gbogbo wa pé tó bá ṣe é ṣe a lè fún yàn kan àbí méjì nínú àwọn tó jẹ́ bíi post láti jẹ́ kí àwọn èèyàn mọ̀ pé bó ṣe rí rèé bó ṣe rí rèé so a dúpẹ́ fọlọ́run pé ọjọ́ náà pé láti lè jẹ́ ká mọ gbogbo ibi tí a náwó sí àti ibi tí owó dé dúró torí pé tá a bá mọ̀ àìmọye ọ̀rọ̀ tá a ti gbọ́ lẹ́yìn àìmọye oríṣiríṣi ẹlòmíràn sọ pé bàbá ẹlòmíràn sọ pé bàbá ìgbà tí ẹ ti lówó akọ ẹ̀ pọ̀ báyìí ẹ̀rẹ́ ká mọ̀ pé ìwà mi ni bóyá ní sísọ̀rọ̀ sí mi báyìí tí mo dẹ̀ dúró pé àwọn justice ọmọ yìí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan láti ṣe tí ò ń ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ la lè sọ́ńtà tọ́lọ̀ jẹ́ ká ṣe àṣeyọrí. tó bá tún padà ń tan àwọn èèyàn mo wá rí pé kì í ṣe ohun tó dáa mo ṣe ohun tó dáa so ẹ má rí mi bíi pé bàbá ó ti mú bọ́n bàbá ó ti ń dán bàbá ti ń ṣe gbà mo kàn fẹ́ ká mọ̀ pé ẹ má yẹ ká dàbí wọn ẹ jẹ́ ká dàbí ẹbí kan náà olórin kan ló sọ pé ayé ò fẹ́ ká máa níláárí ènìyàn fẹ́ ká máa yọ̀ láyọ̀jú ṣùgbọ́n tọ́lọ́run ò bá padà lẹ́yìn ẹni àkàṣà ìmáa yọ tí ọlọ́run ò bá ti padà lẹ́yìn mi lẹ́yìn ẹbí mi wò ayọ̀ ní nígbẹ̀yìn ọ̀rọ̀ mi dàbí ẹni tó gbé irúgbìn lọ́wọ́ pẹ̀lú omijé lójú bíbélì tí mo kà sọ pé a ó fi ayọ̀ ká a ó sì ru ìtì rẹ̀ ẹni tó gbé irúgbìn lọ́wọ́ pẹ̀lú omijé lójú ó máa fayọ̀ ká gbogbo ohun tó bá ṣe nínú justice yìí ọlọ́run Orímọládé ń gbọ́ ọlọ́run máa padà san fún ẹ ìwọ ni kó wá wò ó pé ṣé rere ni mo ṣe ṣé mo ń ṣì àwọn èèyàn lọ́nà ni ẹlòmíì àṣìníyè pé ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ is beyond natural náà a tún sọ kọ́kọ́ dé pé ṣé bàbá yẹn òun ò máa tẹ̀lé òun ò máa gbà pé wòlíì ni òun ò máa gbà pé ìránṣẹ́ ọlọ́run ni tó bímọ tí ò lè wò tó bímọ tí ò lè tọ́ ìní ọlọ́run ni ọmọ àwa ń gbìyànjú ni wá láti léèrè wọ́n tọ́ wọn ṣùgbọ́n ẹlòmíì ya ohun tó fẹ́ yà nínú ayé mákọ̀rọ̀ onínà ọkàn pé torí pé kò tọ́ wọn àbí torí pé kò ṣe gbá ìyànjú ni àgbẹ̀ ń gbà ọlọ́run ló máa fi ṣúta èmi ti rí bàbá tó bímọ ó kó wọn lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lé ṣùgbọ́n tí ò rọ́ wọn níléèwé ẹ jẹ́ mọ̀ wípé ẹ̀kọ́ ilé tó kọ́ wọn yẹn àwọn ọmọ yìí padà tayọ ní ọjọ́ iwájú. Èmi dẹ̀ ti rí ẹni tó kọ́ ọmọ ẹ̀, gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ graduate lójú ẹ̀. Ní ìgbà tí ẹni àkọ́kọ́ máa ríṣẹ́, ó ríṣẹ́ sí bank. Ìkejì bóyá night time gbà yẹn wọ́n dẹ̀ ń ṣe dáadáa, ṣùgbọ́n along the line ẹ jẹ́ mọ̀ pé èyí tó ríṣẹ́ sí bank ó pàdé àpòpọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn kan, wọ́n kó owó kan jẹ, wọ́n dẹ̀ mú wọn. Ó bà kàríà ọmọ àkọ́kọ́ jẹ́. Àwọn tó kàwé nìyẹn, certificate tó lọ gbà tó ní master kò lè fi ṣiṣẹ́ mọ́. Ọmọ náà nìyẹn. So oríṣiríṣi bẹ́ẹ̀ ló wà nínú ayé. So tí o bá wá ṣe tiẹ̀ tó yè, a fún ẹ ní oore ọ̀fẹ́ láti ṣe ni. Ọlọ́run bá ẹ ṣe ni, kì í ṣe mímọ̀ ṣe. Kì í ṣe mímọ̀ ṣe ẹ. So kẹ́nikẹ́ni kó má ṣe ṣògo nínú ara rẹ̀ pé mo mọ bó ṣe ń tọ́jú ọmọ ni, ta ló mọ̀ ṣe. Bàbá mi ní tíyàn bá mọ ebè tí ò ní so èso iṣu, tí ò ní so èso rere, èèyàn ò ní fi iṣu sínú ebè yẹn. Ìyànjú ni àgbẹ̀ ń gbà, Ọlọ́run bá ní mú ṣu ta. Ní ìfẹ́ kó gbọ́rọ̀ mi lásán, rí nǹkan kan dì mú wípé ohun tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí kì í ṣe, má fi ojú ara wò ó kó má bàa kọsẹ̀. Torí ojú tẹ́lòmíì fi ń wò ó kéré gan. Ó kéré gan. Èyàn rẹ̀ ti ń kúnlẹ̀ yìí o, tí Mohbad yàtọ̀. Ọlọ́run fi tan ìmọ́lẹ̀ sí àwọn àyè kan fún àtúnṣe kan. Àwọn ìdí tó fi mí lọ́kàn balẹ̀ pé a máa padà rí justice. Tóní kò ní sọ kó sọ pé òun ò sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ́. Pẹ̀lú gbogbo eléyìí tí ó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí, ẹ mọ̀ pé ogun Ọlọ́run ni. Ó ń close sí ọdún kejì báyìí. Still ó dàbí bó ṣe kú lánàá ni. Ó kọjá ọgbọ́n orí ènìyàn. Ó kọjá òye ẹnikẹ́ni. Ó kọjá òye ẹnikẹ́ni. So mo ń fi àkókò yìí sọ fún wa pé ká ṣe jẹ́jẹ́, ká ṣe ẹbí kan, ká lè débi tí à ń lọ. Kò sóhun tá a fẹ́ gbà pé ká parọ́. Bàtà bá wá parọ́ tán, kò sí ni okùn irọ́ kò ń pẹ́ já, ó lè tíìk, kò ń pẹ́ já. Ká dẹ̀ ṣe dáadáa nítorí ọ̀la. Ẹni tí ò bá mọ̀ mí ló sọ pé bàbá yìí ìyàn burúkú ni àbí báyìí ni. But mo jẹ́ ẹ̀rọ tó pé mo láì pé ká sọ òdodo, ká dẹ̀ sọ òtítọ́. Kò sígbà tí mi ò lè sọ̀rọ̀. Nígbà tí ó pé mo fẹ́ parọ́, tó ti bá sọ eléyìí, tí bá tún padà tú ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn sọ tó wẹ́ pé rọ́ ni, màá tún parọ́ mi, irọ́ wa máa gorí irọ́. Ṣé mo sọ pé ọ̀rọ̀ tó bá ti gbọ́ lẹ́nu mi, gbà pé o gbọ́ fact. Mi ò ní sọ̀rọ̀ púpọ̀ torí mo fẹ́ kí a sọ̀rọ̀ nípa accountability yẹn àti ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ interview tí mo ṣe, tí mo ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n mo fẹ́ kó mọ̀ wípé mo lè máa rẹ́rìn-ín tàbá yìí. Ohun tó ń dùn mí ó sì wà bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Ọ̀rọ̀ kún Mohbad. Egbò tí ò lè jiná lára mi. Kò sí ìgbà tí bá ti rí àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ ní àdúgbò. Kò sí ní gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹlẹ́ran ara máa rò. Wọ́n mọ̀ kò máa ń jẹ́ kí ẹ̀mí mímọ́ ó gbà ṣàkóso láti máa ṣe nǹkan míì kí má lọ kúlẹ̀ dẹ́kú. àìdídájọ́ òdodo ó lè pààyàn kì í ṣe bí àbí ìbọn nìkan ló lè pààyàn tíyàn bá rí ìdájọ́ òdodo níbi tó yẹ kó ti rí òótọ́ ó lè pààyàn sínú ilé. So mo rọ̀ wá ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe àtúnṣe mostly those holes ẹ̀yin ni ẹbí mi ò tẹ́ ẹnikẹ́ni nù torí mo mọ̀ wípé ẹni tí ò ṣe ní àkókò yìí ó sì ń padà bọ̀ wá ṣe. Awuyewuye wà wípé àbí wọn ò ní lè bá lọ́yà tí mò ń lò tẹ́lẹ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ pọ̀. Bàbá jẹ́ ẹni tó ní understanding. Bàbá jẹ́ kí n mọ̀ wípé tó bá ṣeé ṣe tí wọ́n bá ti lè bá wọn ṣiṣẹ́ pé kò sí problem. Mo dẹ̀ jẹ́ èèyàn kan tó yẹ pé mi ò ń fẹ́ kí orúkọ ẹnikẹ́ni bàjẹ́. Ó jẹ́ kí èmi náà kí n gbà pé ókè dádì Sanchitu ẹjọ́ ṣiṣẹ́ pọ̀ pẹ̀lú lọ́yà mi. Iṣẹ́ dẹ̀ ń tẹ̀síwájú torí pé àwọn ni mo kọ́kọ́ mọ̀ kí tó mọ Sanchitu. Mo dẹ̀ gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n ti file ọwọ́ wọn náà ni most of those things wà. Even nígbà tá a fẹ́ fight fún private autopsy lọ́yà Odúmọ̀ṣù ni wọ́n file kéèsì yẹn. Bèmú fi gbogbo ẹni sọ fún yín pé Sanchitu ló fight fún ní ilé ẹjọ́ tí adájọ́ dẹ̀ grant pé ok ẹ lọ ṣe private autopsy a dẹ̀ ṣe é.
Welcome to Ayipu.
Mo fi gbogbo ẹni sọ fún yín pé owó tí wọ́n gbà gan wọn ò defend iṣẹ́ yẹn ọ̀tọ̀ lẹni tó defend ẹ̀ pẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí àdéhùn tí a jọ ní ṣe. Ibi mo pe àbúrò mi pé iṣẹ́ àwọn ibi yóò yọnu kínní bàbá yìí ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ ó nítorí pé a ti ní àdéhùn ká máa san owó yẹn lọ. A dẹ̀ ń san lọ nígbà tó di DNA mo tún lọ gbé bàbá sàn dìde pé ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ ṣàánú mi ẹ bá mi dá sọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Wọ́n wá sọ ìyàtọ̀ tó wà ń bẹ̀ wípé kò ń ṣe ibi tí wọ́n ti lè rí àwọn lè fún mi ní èèyàn. Ok ìgbà tó wá di pé wọ́n fún mi léèyàn ní ọjọ́ àkọ́kọ́ ẹ ti mọ̀ pé bíi family court ni èèyàn tí wọ́n fún mi màá ṣà fún wọn lówó mọ́tò bó jẹ́ 50,000. Mo wá bẹ lọ́yà Odúmọ̀ṣù ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ jẹ́ kí n máa san 100 lórí ti family court yìí because inú yàrá kéréje báyìí náà ti ń ṣe kò dẹ̀ kí n pẹ́ orí ìdúró náà ti máa ń dá wa lóhùn torí gbogbo ẹ̀ náà ni mo follow up. So wọ́n tún gbà sí mi lẹ́nu pé kí n máa san 100 tó bá fẹ́ fáìlì in case máa sanwó iye báyìí ni iye báyìí náà máa fi san. So gbogbo yẹn ni mò ń ṣe mi ò jẹ wọ́n lówó ọ̀hún ẹ bá pè mí pé mo jẹ wọ́n ní iye báyìí rí. Nígbà tí ẹlẹ́yọ̀rọ̀ tó sọ pé òun fẹ́ ṣe remembrance tí mo ní mi ò fẹ́ more than $1 million la fi lé ẹlẹ́yọ̀rọ̀ jìnnà ó ti yẹ kó yé yín. Àwọn náà ni wọ́n fáìlì kéèsì mi iye tí wọ́n gbà lọ́wọ́ mi ni wọn ò yẹ bá sọ pé mo jẹ wọ́n lówó. Ìgbà tí àwọn ti pathologist tó wọ́n fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ lóòótọ́ wọ́n wá hòtẹ́ẹ̀lì fún wọn èmi ni mo lọ sanwó. Ẹ̀ẹ̀mejì ni wọ́n sùn hòtẹ́ẹ̀lì tí wọ́n dẹ̀ sùn èèyàn méjì ni mo sanwó ẹ̀. Rúùmù tí ọ̀gá wà ọ̀tọ̀ rúùmù tí àwọn ọmọọṣẹ́ wà ọ̀tọ̀ tó dẹ̀ pé mi náà mo lọ sanwó owó rẹ̀. Kò sí ìgbà àti àkókò tí àwọn lọ́yà Odúmọ̀ṣù tán rán ọmọ wá tí wọ́n gba ẹ̀tọ́ wọn lọ́wọ́ mi. Nígbà tó wá tó àkókò tí iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ń ṣe tí èmi gangan fúnra ara mi ń rí àwọn àlébù kọ̀ọ̀kan bẹ̀ tí mi ò lè máa sọ lórí atẹ́gùn. Fúnra wọn náà bọ́ sórí TikTok, wọ́n ní ìkan nínú àwọn blogger mi, mo ní yẹ kí n caution ẹ̀, mo dẹ̀ fi àkókò ètò sọ fún gbogbo ènìyàn, kò sí ẹni tí mo ránṣẹ́, ó tọ̀rọ̀ bí ìsọkúsọ ni, kò sí ẹni tó tan kámẹ́rà báyìí lórí TikTok tó fún ní tọrọ kọ́bọ̀, ṣé èmi náà ń gbowó fún ni? Oníkálùkù ń ṣe sí àpò ara ẹ̀. Ìyẹn mo sọ pé èyí tó bá ṣe òtítọ́ nìkan ni mo lè gbà pé ó ń bá mi ṣiṣẹ́, àwọn ẹbí gan lọmọ ìyá mi. Ṣé ẹni tó rí A tó lọ sọ di Z, ṣé mi nìyẹn? Ṣé àjọ ń ṣiṣẹ́ pọ̀ náà nìyẹn? Àbí tẹ́lẹ̀ mi bá kò wò hàn pé ṣé bàbá yẹn tí bàbá ń wá justice ni, ẹjọ́ kí ni mò ń wá o? Gbogbo àwọn tó bá ń béèrè pé ṣé bàbá ń wá justice, ẹ bá mi bi wọ́n léèrè pé kí ni mò ń wá pẹ̀lú bí tí ọ̀rọ̀ dé dúró yìí. Tí lọ́ọ̀yà ti wá bá mi pé ohun tó wà lẹ́ẹ̀ tó pín, kí ló tó pín? Ìwà tí n bá wù lénìí náà máa sọ nípa mi tó bá dọ̀la. So ju gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ, bí lọ́ọ̀yà yìí ṣe títí di àkókò tí mo sọ pé ẹjọ́ atógẹ́ alùdùdù ń dárin, wọ́n ṣẹ̀ wá lọ gbé ìwé jẹ̀rànjẹ̀rán pé mo jẹ wọ́n ní 9 million, mi ò jẹ wọ́n kọ́bọ̀ o, mo sọ mi ò kó jẹ́ o. Wípé alágídí àti alágbára ló fẹ́ jà o, ẹni tó bá mọ̀ wọ́n kó sọ fún wọn, alágídí àti alágbára wọ́n fẹ́ jà. Ṣùgbọ́n tí alágbára ò bá fẹ́ dáràn, kó fi alágídí lẹ̀ o. Mo rí pà láti sọ pé èmi ni alágídí, òun ni alágbára. Torí mi mọrú òfin tó lọ gbé dìde pé òun gba òun àdàbí tí ń bá jẹ́ lówó. Olódodo máa ń láyà ní o, gbogbo tí bá dẹ̀ sọ àṣẹ́gun o, mi ò jẹ́ lówó, àdàbí tí bá jẹ́ lówó, tí bá wá jẹ́ lówó gbogbo tó bá ṣe ó lè mú mi. Ṣùgbọ́n èmi ọmọọba bàbá Mohbad, alágídí àtàlágbára ni o, ẹnìkan ni ó borí o. Kò sí bóyá sọ pé ó lágbára tó bí ẹni tí ó ń bá ìjà lọ ṣiṣẹ́ ni o.
Welcome to Alipu.
Kò sí bí agbára yẹn ṣe lè tó.
AUX mode.
Torí èmi ò ní parọ́ mọ́ ẹnikẹ́ni o. Èmi ò ní parọ́ mọ́ ẹnikẹ́ni.
Welcome to Alipu.
AUX
So,
mode.
mo ń rọ̀ wá pé ẹni tó bá mọ ojú ẹ̀ kó bá mi sọ fún o. Bàbá Mohbad ò jẹ́ lówó o, kò lè wá dá kéèsì dúró o, káwọn ogun ọ̀run má bàa yọ lẹ́nu o. Torí bí mo ṣe wà yìí, gbogbo ara ló ń kan mí o. Ẹni tó bá mọ̀ ọ́ kó sọ fún wípé ó má yọ mí lẹ́nu o. Ẹni bá tún fi kú ọmọ yìí yọ mí lẹ́nu, ọ̀run máa yọ lẹ́nu o. Ẹni tó bá tún gbógun dìde, mò ń wá ikú tó pọ̀ ọmọ yìí, ẹnìkan wá lọ dúró sí kọ̀rọ̀ pé kò ní ṣeé ṣe, àwọn ogun ọ̀run máa yọ lẹ́nu o. Mi ò ní parọ́ mẹ́nikẹ́ni o, ọ̀rọ̀ tí n bá ti sọ lórí ẹnìkan, lórí justice for Mohbad, tí n bá ti parọ́ mọ́ ẹnikẹ́ni àtẹni tó lọ dókó yàrá kejì, mo ní evidence o. Tó lọ sọ pé bàbá yẹn ó ń jẹun gbá, bàbá yẹn ó ń ṣe gbá, èmi ò ń ṣe irú èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ o. ni mo sọ ní pé èèyàn méjì mo dárúkọ tí ọmọ mi náà ń sọ fún tó bá wá pe àwọn méjèèjì kí wọ́n sọ pé bàbá náà tún parọ́ tẹ̀bí kò dáa láti sọ ẹ̀ máa fi dúró sórí òtítọ́. Mo pe ẹnìkan ní magazine ó sì wà lọ́dọ̀ Naira Marley náà. Hello mo tún sọ pé àkọ́bí mi àwọn tó sọ fún nìyẹn o tó bá wá pe àwọn méjèèjì kán béèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn pé ǹjẹ́ wọ́n sọ fún wọn tó bá nírọ́ àjẹpọ̀ nírọ́ ni mí. Mo ní mo ráṣọ ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń jọ́ sí ẹnìkan náà ní ráṣọ ẹ̀jẹ̀ mi ò ní parọ́ ni o ṣùgbọ́n mo fẹ́ kẹ́ mọ̀ pé Ọlọ́run tó fẹ́ kí nǹkan kan ṣẹlẹ̀ kárí ojútùú ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ ló jẹ́ kí weakness yẹ tí n bá weakness ẹ̀ kò sẹ́ni tí ó sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ẹ̀. So ogun Ọlọ́run ni o ẹ bá mi sọ fún lọ́ọ̀yà yẹn gbogbo ohun tó bá lù mọ́ tó wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ kó withdraw ẹ̀ jẹ́jẹ́lẹ̀ torí mi ò yọ lẹ́nu kó má yọ mí lẹ́nu o. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n dúró báyìí.
Touch with his former lawyer Odumosu, and he reached out to him. He said he's someone that he loves so much, and when he reached out to lawyer Odumosu, and he was so happy, and he said he was going to help him to fight the cause of justice. And when they reached an agreement, the agreement was that he'll be paying 150,000 for court appearance. Can you hear me, please? People are saying value. Advice, other stuff. And you're going to charge him. You're going to charge about Mohbad based on anything they are discussing on that. And along the line, when they met, and the agreement was that he was going to come to Nigeria because he's overseas, out of the country, and that was the agreement they had. And he said he assured them that when the case is going south, or when they're not seeing traction on the case, he's going to come down to Nigeria to appear in court. That was the agreement they had. And according to Mohbad, he said he never fulfilled that promise. Along the line, there's so many, he said, a lot of hosts and most of the people that are talking about this on TikTok, most especially, said they needed a lawyer on ground that were able to defend the case, that would help him to get justice for his son. And here come Wahab Sanshitu, and he approached Sanshitu, and he feels Sanshitu can do the job because a lot of people say they want senior advocate of Nigeria to help him with the case. And Sanshitu, at that point in time, told him that he's going to collect 25 million naira. But he pleaded and said, I'm an undied carpenter. I don't have a job. It's really public that are funding me. And can you just help me? And then Sanshitu went ahead to accept the sum of 10 million naira. So he accepted 10 million naira. And so along the line, he said, okay, they met. He contacted lawyer Odumosu and Sanshitu, and they agreed that they were going to work together. That means there should be a synergy between both of them and going forward after he was appointed. Bear in mind, Odumosu at that point has already filed some things like private autopsy, and also there was an ongoing DNA case. But in the autopsy, when he filed for the private autopsy, it was not granted when Sanshitu came on board, but it was when Sanshitu met or argued in court before it was granted. And it was when he was saying it was when Sanshitu came on board, that was when it was granted. And on the DNA, he also said he reached out to Wahab Shitu about the DNA, and he said, do you know what? I think because they had an agreement that maybe it should be coming for the autopsy and also the cause of death, that is a family matter, that Sanshitu now promised about, and he gave him 2 lawyers from his own chamber to go in, and they went there maybe twice or 3 times because it's a family court, and it was in a hall that they don't normally do it in court, maybe in an office. That happened to about. But he now also pleaded with Barrister Odumosu that can he reduce the appearance to 100,000 because he should also be giving Sanshitu's lawyers that money as well going forward. And going forward, he also mentioned about the pathologist. Now he's not going to the the 9 million naira by Dumosu is asking for him. And he said the pathologist that came for the autopsy and for the sample and everything, he paid for the hotel fee. That there are two in number, and the boss, the main boss, the pathologist, was they lodged them in separate rooms in that same hotel. That he paid for it, so that I see no reason why Barrister Odumos will be asking for the outrageous 9 million naira when he was the one that paid for the pathologist coming back in for the sample for the autopsy and toxicology, private of sample toxicology. Clear today, being 12th of February 2025, that he's not owing Barrister Odumosu a penny, and he does not know why he's asking for such outrageous amount. And he's saying he is someone that he's saying that if he is owing, he won't lie. That anything that is that he is doing in this life, he has never lied. And he pointed out to the fact that on the DNA matter, that some of the things he has been saying, like my C, I've been saying it, and my C still with my Mali. And all the things he said about CY, Wunmi Adebanjo, they are not lies. And also the things Mohbad told him, he also told Blessing, Mohbad's elder sister. So he doesn't lie. And we also know that when one man went to Ikere, he met with Mohbad's elder sister, Baba Mohbad's elder sister. And the man said, and I quote, Josie Okinparo. And Baba Mohbad is even stating clearly that he doesn't lie. They went to his house in Ikere and they said he doesn't lie.
Between one who has power and one who is stubborn, and definitely one is going to win. And he stated clearly, just like Barrister Olaide said, that he is not owing the barrister any dime, he's not owing the barrister any money, that all money based on the agreement that they had has been paid. And there shouldn't be this particular request that he is bringing out. It's not supposed to be. And yes, very soon we will be bringing people up. We'll be bringing people
million from access account to another account, and gbogbo to the one account, it was 18 million. So gbogbo mo ti rí 30 million. So tí n bá ṣàlàyé, nobody will know. So please.
And that's it. Ó tún wá bu iyì. Ṣé tí wàá sọ fún yín, ó bu iyì kún yín, ó bu ọlá kún yín, that you want to do this to us.
Oríṣiríṣi nǹkan tó ń lọ lórí afẹ́fẹ́ nípa bí àwọn èèyàn ṣe ń dragi ara wọn, ṣùgbọ́n kó bá lè dáná ni. Èmi fẹ́ fi dá gbogbo àgbáyé ní ojú pé gbogbo bí owó ṣe náwó, wọ́n máa mọ̀ lẹ́ni. Mo tún fẹ́ fi àsìkò yìí rọ̀ wá pé orí òkè ń mì, èèyàn òkè ń rìn kórí má mì. A lè sọ àwọn kankan pé maybe the way we spend money, it might not be hugger well with some people, but we have to state it the way it is. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n tún fi àsìkò yìí kí n fi dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó jẹ́ pé ìgbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣe GoFundMe, wọ́n dìde, because when we started the GoFundMe was not moving in the right directions. Some people stood up. A lot of people stood up. I won't mention names, but everybody who came up one way or the other, all the hosts. Most people, they are not hosts, they don't have platform, but they started moving from one platform to the other. And then we started seeing the dividends of their actions, spend money. And then I'm going to be giving out some data to the hosts so that probably maybe they might be, if they need to ask one or two questions later, they will have access to what I'm reading, so that at least they will know what how money was spent. Sorry, I'm coming. Total of $26,288 was donated. A total of $26,288 was donated. So GoFundMe removed their charges. The charges GoFundMe removed amount to $869,000, $869.69. So GoFundMe removed $869.69. So what we are left with is $25,000, $418.31. $25,418.31. That is what we are left with. So 25,418 and then 31 cents. That is what we are left with. We should bear in mind that the reason why the GoFundMe was created is, one, to pay the legal fee of Sanchitu, to pay for autopsy and toxicology, to pay for DNA, to pay for forensic, to pay for private investigators, and then if you have some leftover, that will be towards anything that is available at that material times. So that is why I will always giving kudos to those who stood up in seeing that we were able to get to this amount. The first thing we did immediately after we engaged after we got the judgment from the court was for us to be looking for pathologists. Now, how did we arrive at pathologists? A lot of people were consulted, both in Nigeria and then in diaspora. It got to a point that people, they will come up, that is pathology, they will come up and said they are going to do the job, only for them to go back and said they will not do it again. Then when we ask them what is the reason, they will just give us one excuse or the other, until we finally settle for the one that carried out the job. Because of this, doing this autopsy and toxicology, when people ask one question or the other, I will tell them that, okay, they should wait. So at the end of the day, the whole thing, they did the whole thing, and then the is the toxicology. The first phase was done in Nigeria. The second phase was done outside Nigeria. And then, thanks to the whole world, thanks to the soldier, thanks to everybody that see that money was made available at that material times. Where we are today, probably we might not have been there. But by the time we started, I think the whole world will know that there was a point in time that he himself was not available in the studio. He was a bit down. So somebody that was down, we the family feel that it is not good for us to be knocking on his door to say, oh, you promised the whole world that you are going to help us in doing this autopsy and toxicology. Since there is an available money, we think we should go ahead and use that money for that. And then after, we can approach him and say, okay, this is where we are. So whatever contribution you will contribute, we will gladly welcome it. Since the public has already done it, so that is why we went to that route. Because I've seen people saying, oh, Berekete has said, oh, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. So he gave us a cost for the autopsy, he gave us 20 million. 20 million. 20 million was the cost that is professional fee. So, and then at the end of the day, I negotiated to 16 million, which after back and forth, he agreed that okay, he's going to collect 16 million. At that point in time, we were asked to pay that 16 million on time. But that time, a lot of people were against the GoFundMe. They were busy attacking the GoFundMe so that we will not be able to have any access to the GoFundMe. But as God liveth, the more they write, the more we also wrote to the body, the GoFundMe. We tell them the reason why that GoFundMe was set up. At the end of the day, at one point in time, the money was freeze. They freeze the money. So when they freeze that money, we don't have access to the money. So we have to go and borrow money. So somebody actually borrowed us that 16 million at that time. So that was how we pay that 16 million at that point in time. I'm using this opportunity to pray for that person that the day that that person need help, God in infinity mercy will show up for him and her in Jesus' name. Ask us to refund 10 million for now. He now said 6 million that we should still hold it since we still have things to do. We should still hold that 6 million with us, that we still have a long way to go. So as at this moment, we are still holding that person 6 million. So that is in that regard a specimen to abroad. And that shipment cost us 2 million 270,000, 2 million, 2 million, 270,000. What the shipment costs us. Shipments, and then material including special refrigerating mechanism to maintain cold chain, local before international departure, local logistics for multiple interstate sourcing and pre-shipping planning, forecast for DHL, arrange special third-party carrier for special international shipments, toxicology costs at the destination laboratory, sundry expenditure and contingency. Everything amount to 2,270,000. The money spent on autopsy and toxicology is amount to 18,270,000 naira. Because if you add 60 million plus 2 million aspects, because legal aspect is a part of what we said we should use the GoFundMe to do. Initially, when we engage the lawyer, somebody has to borrow us 5 million. At least we source money from somewhere, so which we used to pay for the initial amounts. So somebody borrow us 2 million, and that person give us $200, and that person give us 1 million. So at the end of the day, we're able to pay the lawyer 5 million for the initial payment. So by the time we started seeing money in the GoFundMe, we refund those money back to them, and then at the cost of what everybody is going to be seeing in the data that I'm going to be giving to the host. So they will be 9 million has been paid. So we are left with a balance of 1 million to be paid for the lawyer. So we did a full forensic on Mohbad phone, but unfortunately, we were unable to get the kind of results that suit us, because at the end of the day, we discovered that at every point in time, the people that hold the phone, that hold the iCloud, I don't know how they got to know. Maybe we are trying to get something from the phone, this and that. They keep on changing both the password and then the email that is attached to the phone. So we were unable to get something tangible from that exercise. But money spent can never be recollected from the company that we gave the money to. So another money we also spend is on private investigators, which led us to what the results we are seeing in the NMS, and then we also did some private investigator in Nigeria. So on the private PI, they are still working, and then which I wouldn't want to do analysis on how we spend money. That was why I made mention of the PI. So on GoFundMe, as at now, all the money that we have spent amount to 17,000. That's $17,000, 91 cents. $17,091.25 to be refunded. So, and then at this point, we've not done the DNA. So that is the reason why the person that borrowed us that money said we should wait. He doesn't want to collect that money because he believes that if he still need that money to do the DNA, there's no point in rushing anywhere. Because if you look at it initially, our budget for that GoFundMe was 50,000, but we were able to raise 26,327,000. 8,327.6 That is what we have. So peradventures, if today we decided to do the DNA, we still have something to fall back on. And then we should also bear in mind that we still have a balance of 1 million to be paid to the lawyer. This is the account of GoFundMe. What happened? Why have we not done the DNA? That is the right that's the right question, isn't it? The reason why we have not done the DNA is this. The applications that our lawyer prepared in court, we later realized that application we need to redo the application again. Because as of today, there's nowhere they are going to do DNA on Mohbad, if not abroad. They can't do it in Nigeria. The DNA we did for Baba and Mohbad was not done in Nigeria. We started it in Nigeria, but we did not get what we want because Mohbad body does not have any fluid again. You need fluid to do both parties' DNA. So we have to base what we did on tissue. We have to take some parts. So what we did on Baba is what we are going to do on Liam. So the court order that the judge they gave to us is not tenable. So there's no way we are going to do that DNA in Nigeria because, as a matter of fact, there's nowhere in Nigeria that you do such DNA. It has to be in abroad. So we are going back to that court to tell the judge that the kind of DNA we want is a tissue base, not just ordinary DNA. So a total of in Access Bank, a total of 18,094,000 was realized to Access. 18,994,008 18,094,880 kobo did the application for court proceeding, TTC for corona, TTC for DNA, and then CTC for toxicology. So we did proceeding. We collect CTC for the corona. We collect CTC for DNA. We collect CTC for toxicology. So all this money amount to 500,000. All this money amount to 500,000. The second thing we did on the access is the payment to the lawyer for the DNA, filing fee, incidental expenses, professional fee, professional fee. So the lawyer gave us 5 million bill. Then we should pay 5 million. But we negotiated for 2.8 million. We negotiated for 2.8 million. 2.8 million was paid, and then they started their work. After paying 2.8 million, they came up with we have to be paying for appearance fee. Bear in mind that when we engaged the lawyer, what he told us was that, okay, he will be coming to the inquest, and then we should give him a logistic fee of 150,000, which we agree. And then he also promised that he has a good chamber in Nigeria with his partner. That is what they use, his partner. So he never told us that, okay, his partner is his son or his daughter or whatever. So he just say with his partner. And then if there's a need for him to come to Nigeria, he will come, because I specifically asked him that the number he's using to engage us that day happened to be a UK number. And then he said he has a chamber in Nigeria, his partner is there, and at the same time, if there's a need for him to come to Nigeria, he will come. So after we pay for the DNA payment, so they came out that, okay, we have to be paying appearance fee. At this point in time, Baba Yari, Baba said, no, why will he be paying appearance fee? Because Baba thought that, okay, since we have paid 2.8 million for the DNA, there's no need for us to be paying appearance fee. But the lawyer said, well, that is their practice, we have to pay. I call Baba, say, Baba, we've already paid 2.8 million. And then it will be difficult for us to get this money back, because they will tell us that they've started working and then they can't refund it. We've agreed to be paying 150,000 for whenever they go for corona. If you let them know is that, okay, you do have 150 to be giving them. Instead of 150, tell them you are going to be giving them 100,000 anytime they appear in corona, on DNA matter, which they graciously agree. So that was how we started paying 100,000 witnesses. So we tagged that to be 200,000. So we also spent money on African TV. There was a time that Mr. Larry was trying to, I think, he and Baba, they have history together, and then he was told not to do anything with Mohbad, and then we felt that since agreed that okay, you should do away with anything called Mohbad, so we approached the lawyer. So the lawyer said he's going to collect 3.5 million to stop Mr. Larry, African TV. At the end of the day, we agree on 1.3. That's 1.3 million. So 1.3 million was paid, and then they also came up with appearance fee. I think they went to that court maybe like 3 to 4 times, but in my record shows that Baba only paid twice. So I think they went 3 times or 4 times, but Baba paid twice. So Baba did not pay maybe the last one they went or whatever. So that's 1.3 million was expended on African TV also. So appearance fee for Corona 150 per 16. Appearance fees for DNA 100 per sitting. African TV appearance 100,000 per sitting. That we pay for the appearance. So that amount to 1.3 million. Because the pathology, they said the legal fee is quite different from accommodation, because when they came to Lagos to come and perform the autopsy, we gave them accommodations, gave them feeding, we give them transportation. So hotel was arranged for them, transportation was arranged for them, feeding was arranged for them, and then the legal team, the lawyer that was also handling that case, we also gave them money. So all the money, accommodation, transportation, feeding, and then the lawyer collect 200 anyway. So amount to 400 and 450. So that's the first time when they did autopsy. And then when they perform by the day they are going to ship the body to abroad, we also accommodate them too. We pay the same amount of money, accommodations, and then transport, feeding, and then we also pay the lawyer too. Same amount of money. So we wrote a letter to IG, that's Inspector General of Police in Abuja, concerning that we want the case to be, we want another set of people to take up the case. So a DHL was given at the cost of 40,000. The application for autopsy and toxicology, the second application, the lawyer gave us 4.5 million as a bill. We negotiated for 2 million. So out of the 2 million, we pay 1.7, but the rest we did not pay. The reason why we did not pay is that by the time they started by the time the second lawyer, San, came on board, the lawyer that wrote the application for second autopsy did not go to defend the case in court because Sanshitu was during his cross-examination, during the time he was telling the judge that, okay, application has been brought into your notice, and then Baba has the right to do the autopsy and toxicology. Since the one the government did happened to be inconclusive, so why don't you give him the chance to do what he's asking for? Because the truth about it is that he wasn't asking the government to pay. He said he wanted to do autopsy, so that was how they graciously accept. And then let us also bear in mind that at that point in time, we did a protest in UK. So the people in UK did a protest courtesy of Lagata was doing the one in UK, and then Momilaiton, and then at that point in time, Kibosman, and then a lot of us there, Mommy, One with God, all of us, we are in NMS too. So that actually motivates the whole thing, and then they granted all the chance for the family to do the autopsy. But at the end of the day, the police in Nigeria, they did what they did. So a petition was written, and then because of petition and immobilizations, so that's 350. And then another petition was also written against Kolibaje and Mamacita mobilizations. So that the two of them, that is, I think police spotted that. So when they asked us to go and bring evidence, we were gathering the evidence, but at the end of the day, maybe one of the team of the police has let them know that, okay, the petition has been written against them. So they came out, and then they say, okay, it's not Baba they were referring to, this and that. So all the evidence we need, they brought it down from their pages, this and that. But money has been spent in that regard, so there's no way we can return that money. When Arifa was being harassed by people, so we also extend Oliver. We also extend hand of fellowship. He paid the sum of 700 as a support for him, and then later when he was released, Baba we also support him financially with also a sum of 200,000, so which make it 900,000. And then at that point in time too, Mr. West too, they were after him. So his legal this thing was also thick, and then we pay 1 million for him so that it will not go the way of Arifa. So at that point in time, when we realized that the power that be is trying to untwist all the hosts, people are shouting for justice for Mohbad, we came up with an idea of how to do a class action for all the hosts. So at the end of the day, we have 20 hosts. We have all 20 hosts that we did class action for, so that they will not be carrying, police will not be just be picking them up, and then they will just be locking them up. So that class action was at the cost of 2.5 million, and then Baba tickets to Berekete, back and forth, Baba and the person that is staying with him. So go and come. The ticket is for my record, is 1,030,000. So for the number of time they went through and fro, That's this thing. And then we also did, if you could remember, there is a money that they say Davido give to Mohbad. Then, so the remaining money, Baba uses to do foundation in that where they bury Mohbad. So at later, so some people used to go to that place to go and remove to go and remove some sand in that place. So we decided that okay, fence, we should fence the whole place. So Baba bought 9 inches block. He bought 2,500 block at the rate of one block is 700 naira at that point in time. So a block of 2,500 at the rate of 700 is amount to 1,750,000. At that point in time, Baba bought 50 bag of cement. So that is 13,000. So that one is 500 naira. And then 2 load of 20 tons of sharp sand. So at the rate of 320, who happen to sympathetic with Baba and the cause, donate a gate. He single-handedly donate a gate. He did a gate, and then he wrote a monetization on it, and then he paid for the gate. How they reached the gate, he paid for it, and then that was how that place was secured. So another thing we spend money on is adverts and placements. You will see that most of the thing we used to do, we used to put them on the newspaper. So those things are not free. When you see things in newspaper, so we pay for it. Maybe if you see Baba, okay, went to media houses, this and that, those are also things that okay we spend money on. So and then there was a time we call people, we call like several people. So we did a page on advert in newspaper. So those are still part of the distance. So advert placement to record witness in newspaper, and then the media tour that Baba used to go. So all that amount to 2,350,000 for Damola and mobilization. Recently, this issue of Damola or these things. So when we discovered that okay, Damola is in possession of some issues, so we approached the legal team that okay, we want them to take up the case. So for mobilizations on that case, they are still on the case. So 900 was paid in that regard. So and then later we realized that the class action we did, the 20 people we did, the 20 hosts that we did class action on for, we later realized that there are some people that they are not part of their name was not part of those 20 people. So and then at that point in time, there was a guy who claimed to be fighting for justice for Mohbad. He was harassing some people, and then I think his name is Pierce or something like that. He was harassing some people in Nigeria, so we have to also come to their aid. So to do a second class actions, and then at the cost of 500. So in total, all what I have here amount to 22,620,000 naira. I mentioned Wema Bank and Access. So the access, the what we have in Wema was what triggered to the remaining 4.6 was what triggered to access to Wema. So, and then we also have some miscellaneous that is under. Those are the things we did that we can't be telling the people, like Baba DNA, like Baba is going to police stations, like Baba they gave some people some money in the police station for them to be able to have their way. Baba is going, they have to fuel their car. That come under miscellaneous. So let me rest my case for that. If there's any.
Welcome back. That was a lengthy one and very detailed explanation, at least for now, for what we have on our hand. That was a detailed one. I know questions will be raised after documents have been looked into. I mean, for those who are into the accountability aspect of it. Now, there are people who are into accountability aspect for the sake of creating commotion, whilst there are people who are into the accountability aspect because they need precision. They need things to be done appropriately. They don't want mismanagement of funds. They expect that certain things should be done in a certain way. For example, there is one thing that I picked. Of course, there are more, but let us look at one. We are not perfect. Don't forget that majority that are on this journey of justice for Mohbad do not have the experience. In fact, many people have lived a life and they've existed in a system where understanding of due process and how things are supposed to be done and connecting with professionals, they've never experienced this. They don't even understand what that is. So this is more like a kind of a lottery. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. Let us relearn again. Now, when Mohbad's father conducted DNA test, a paternity test, after Mohbad's mother came out to talk about Mohbad not being Mohbad's father, son, and all of that. You recall that. Mohbad's father quickly swung into action. He got a paternity test done. Now, that paternity test was not a fluid test. It was not done with fluid because there was no fluid in Mohbad that could be used. They did tissue test. It was done outside of Nigeria where equipment for such exist. Question is this: if they already gone through that, how come when they approached the court to get an order to force Cynthia to get DNA done, why is it that the experience they had was not imputed into what they need to request? Why? That's a problem. Maybe, I don't know, pressure, oversight, they couldn't remember. Why was that not? And I think there should be no mistakes about this one because it is one of the most important. If we ask Mohbad's father, two things. One, how my son passed away. Then another very important thing is DNA. DNA. So what are we saying? How come the lawyer or himself, or probably the lawyer that attended to that is not the same lawyer now? So that's why there is a kind of a break in transmission. Is that what it is? How come they didn't approach the court using the same? Like, look, we have conducted tests on father and son, and we know it's a tissue test that was done. So we are requesting the court to grant us access to get tissue tests done in two places. The same way the court granted them to get paternity test done in two places. Obviously, one for Cynthia, one for Mohbad's father. So they can compare and contrast. So why? Now they have to reapproach the court. That's another money. You have to now reapproach the court like, please, you said we should get DNA test done. It seems the document and what you have said, like, is it that when the court gave the order, gave the permission, they didn't read? Or I don't get it. Like when they approached the courts and they said that because, okay, no problem, we will grant you. Is it like they didn't understand what they were going to be presented with? Maybe this came from the Odumosu guy, since he was not on ground or whatever, I don't know. Maybe the lawyer didn't do the due diligence and Mohbad's father didn't know otherwise. Or what exactly is this thing? I think that's where Mohbad's father said that lawyer didn't do work as expected. Anyway, it is what it is. We've heard from him. I don't know what your thought has regards this. You've heard all that he has to say. He said he's not paying any. Odumosu, go away. Odumosu, I don't owe you 9 million naira. But if you want to push and press, I will agree in court. That's what people are saying now. No Mohbad's father will agree in court to pay you $1 every year. That is what we can afford. That is what he can afford. Like, I don't have money. The public are not paying. So for me, I can afford to pay you 1,000 naira every year till maybe your great-grandchildren. End of story. What are your thoughts about this one? Drop your comments. See you in the next update.